Why did you choose to work in youth justice?
I think youth justice chose me.
Started working at Youth Justice after my social work placement and applied for the job because fell in love with the work, building relationships with young people and watching them reach their full potential.
The thing I loved most about youth work was the relationships that you built with the kids and the trust that grows over time that the kid has towards you.
The opportunity to work with adolescents and pre-adolescents in the youth justice setting came up, and I thought it would be great to apply my past experience and skills in that space. And there hadn't ever been speech pathology in that space before.
I was supporting young people in the court system, and when an opportunity came up at Kalanatapa, I could utilise my skills in there to support the young people in the justice system.
After studying, I got a role working with teenagers and found that I really enjoyed working with teenagers. I find that they're the perfect age between having autonomy, being able to make their own choices, but still learning, growing and developing.
What is the one thing you wish people knew?
That most young people do want a positive and meaningful life and want to make better decisions, and that in youth justice we have systems to support them to do that.
I wish people would look past the 5-second snippet on the news, because young people are so much more than that.
That youth justice is a great place to work, that you're forever learning and growing, and there's a new experience every day.
The amazing work that is achieved every day in youth justice, you know, it's really, for example, a young person goes to school, someone might say, well, so what? You're supposed to. I think it's really hard to show and demonstrate more broadly just the amount of work that goes into getting young people to achieve that in that particular instance, the work that the care team does, the support that's provided and the barriers that that young person in particular might have had to overcome to achieve what is, you know, typical for other young people, and that's incredible to see.
It's that it's an extremely multidisciplinary team approach. You know, it's not just youth workers, it's teachers, it's psychologists, social workers, cultural advisors and clinicians, mental health nurses, behavioural practitioners. Yeah, everyone has a part to play and does a great job doing it.
What are the biggest myths or misconceptions about your job?
That we don't care. It's the opposite.
That young people who offend are just mini adults and that they deserve the same consequences, whereas the young people that we work with, their brains are not fully formed, they're still developing, their impulse control and decision making is, you know, going to be different to those of an adult.
And in saying that as well, the legislation is written specifically for that purpose. In the adult space, the legislation takes into account deterrence for other people offending, whereas in the youth space, they only deal with young people and their own personal circumstances and don't look at deterrence.
I can tell you now, youth justice workers, the amount of care and support and empathy they have for the kids is second to none. People
might not realise that young people who come to youth justice often have communication difficulties, and my role is to support them around that.
You know, it can be hurtful, even as a youth worker, when you listen to certain stories and the public gets a misconception of what we do.
Another misconception people often have is that young people in youth justice are dangerous, but I don't see it like that at all. They've had life circumstances that have led them into the youth justice space.
Our youth justice workers aren't babysitters. Some other people in community might think they're thugs. They're not. They do an awesome job to support our young people. How do youth justice workers help young people have a better future?
You know, youth justice workers can have a profound impact on these kids' lives. We do work with some of the most vulnerable kids in the state, and you know, the help and guidance that youth workers give are not just life-changing, they can be life-saving.
I think the youth justice workers at Kalana Tapa underestimate their worth, and they provide a crucial support network for those young fellas in Kalana Tapa.
I think no matter what role you have in youth justice, you can create experiences of safe and consistent interactions with young people. And in my role, I can help to identify where there might be disabilities and connect young people into the supports they need.
In an ideal world, I would like to support the young people that I'm working with to overcome their challenges, complete their court order and never come back to the justice system.
And I want to support our vulnerable young people to thrive. I want the young people that we work with to become happy and healthy adults. I want the young people to know that there are other choices that they can be making and that they can and will achieve what they want to.